Jennifer.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, Jennifer, can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Jennifer Ronquillo, ma'am. I have three kids. I'm 40 years old. I'm a single parent.
Okay, I have a few questions for you to answer, so let's start.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you want to work as a maid?
I want to earn more money to spend my child in school.
Why you choose Malaysia when there is a lot of other country?
I want to go to Malaysia because Malaysia is an open country and people there is good.
How are you qualified for this job?
I'm a hardworking person. I'm trustworthy, and I'm a workaholic, ma'am.
May I know what your educational level is?
I'm a high school graduate.
What was your recent working experience?
I'm a lady guard, ma'am, at Star Shield Security Agency.
Okay. Have you worked abroad before?
Yes, ma'am. And in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, for how many years?
Ma'am, contract.
Do you have experience of taking care of babies?
Yes, ma'am.
Whose babies are you taking care of?
My child, of course, and my employer's granddaughter.
Okay, do you have experience taking care of elderly?
Yes, ma'am.
Whose elderly was that?
My husband's mother.
Okay. Do you have any other special skills?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to learn new skills?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to work with a family where the mother-in-law or any relatives stay together?
Yes, ma'am.
Currently, are you still working now?
No, ma'am.
Do you know how to cook?
Yes, ma'am.
What sort of food can you cook?
Filipino dish, ma'am.
Are you aware that you will have to do washing, cleaning, ironing, and cooking?
Yes, ma'am.
From all the house chores that I mentioned to you, which do you like most?
Yes, ma'am.
From all the house chores that I mentioned to you, like washing, cleaning, ironing, and cooking, which do you like most?
Cooking, ma'am.
Okay. If ever you were selected to work in Malaysia, who will take care of them, your kids?
My mother.
You are not allowed to use handphone during working hours.
Yes, ma'am. I understand, ma'am.
You are only allowed to use handphone after you finish all the works and when going to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
You are strictly needed to surrender the handphone to your employer in the morning and your employer will return back to you once you're going to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
If ever your employer finds out that you're abusing of using your handphone and it's affected your work performance, your employer will confiscate your handphone and you are not allowed to hold it anymore.
Yes, ma'am. I understand, ma'am.
Instead, your employer will allow you to call to your family 3 times in a month. You only allowed to bring normal phone and you are not allowed to bring smartphone. Are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
agreed for the terms and condition?
Yes, ma'am. I understand, ma'am. I agree.
Okay, are you agreed to the rules and regulation for the handphone?
I agree, ma'am.
How many years is the contract as you agreed and understands?
2 years contract, ma'am.
Can you describe for me your attitude?
My attitude, ma'am. I'm a good person, ma'am.
How can you assure to us, Jennifer, that you will work hard in Malaysia?
I assure, ma'am, that I'm work hard because I would like to earn more money to spend my child.
Can you promise not to use the telephone without the permission of your employer?
Yes, ma'am. I understand, ma'am.
Can you promise not to put on makeup but to dress properly while work?
I promise, ma'am.
Can you promise not to invite friends and relatives without the consent of your employer?
Yes, ma'am. I promise, ma'am.
Can you promise not to ask for advance salary from your employer under any circumstances?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you really understand of the rules and regulation of the agency?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you pay any placement fee for you to come to Malaysia to work as a maid?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any history of sickness, breast cancer, or any other illness?
No, ma'am.
Do you suffer from any skin diseases, allergies, or physical defect?
No, ma'am.
Have you suffered from any serious illness?
No, ma'am.
Do you smoke?
No, ma'am.
Have you undergone any operation before?
Yes, ma'am.
What operation was that?
Cesarean section, ma'am.
When?
Last 2005, ma'am.
Okay, are you medically fit or are you fit to work?
I'm fit to work, ma'am.
Are you in any medication right now?
No, ma'am.
Are you allergic with any food?
No, ma'am.
Are you prepared to work for the employer of different races?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you prepared to eat the type of food taken or given by your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of being left alone in the house?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid of dogs or other pets?
No, ma'am.
Can you promise to work according to instruction from your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any family members working in abroad?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Jennifer, we have finished our question section. Let's proceed for case study. I have a case study for you and I want you to answer me truthfully.
Yes, ma'am.
Upon arrival in Malaysia within 6 months only, if ever one of your family members passed away, what will you do?
I'll stay in my infirmary because my contract is not finished yet.
Okay, so what help would you give to your family members who passed away?
Pardon po?
What help would you give to your family members who passed away?
I'll send money.
If you're here watching right now, what do you want to tell them?
Hi, hello, ma'am. I'm a good person. I'm trustworthy and work hard. I'd like to be there because I want to earn more money to.
Okay, Jennifer.